Hey guys, welcome to the first episode here, talking with Rocky and Jordan, Crypto Cowboys. Rocky, you on there? Can you hear me?
How's it going, man?
It's going good, going good. Can you hear me on the computer?
Yeah, I got you. Coming through loud and clear. All right, let's talk crypto.
Okay, well, starting off, guys. It's been an exciting, I guess, last couple of months. May was a huge month for cryptocurrencies. We saw Bitcoin raise from about 3,200 all the way up to $9,000, and it's just been a really exciting time, and there's just been a lot going on. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. I'm gonna quickly just pull up the Bitcoin coin market cap chart. This is the yearly chart that I'm going to show you guys and kind of just share with you where the price currently is sitting. So from December 31st, 2018, we were sitting $3,700. We got all the way down. And sometimes these aren't 100% accurate, but we got all the way down to 2,800 on certain exchanges. And I just kept really believing that we were bottoming out. And if you look at the chart, I mean, the whole chart is flat for all the way through March 25th. And Rocky, if you remember, I kept saying, man, I think this is the bottom. I think this is the bottom. So we've ridden up all the way up to 91, 9,200 bucks on a couple of exchanges. And if you look at where are we at? If you look at the 90-day high and low, we were, it's right here. We were at 9,000. We're at, a couple of days ago, we were at 9,000 bucks. Earlier this year, we were at 38.63. So, yeah, it's very exciting. It's very exciting. And to me, that, again, this is the third crash that we've had in the Bitcoin's history. And there's just a lot of things that have been happening since then. That I believe pulled us out of where we're at. So,
right. So we're going to title this tonight XRP Bitcoin Warren Buffett and Great Life. And kind of because a lot of people still look at Bitcoin as it fluctuates wildly, goes way up and way down. But actually, big guys look at it as if it's been in a bull run for 18 months since its high. So is that true?
Absolutely. If you look at early 2017, XRP, it did 32,000% increase over that time. Yeah, it's corrected down, 85, 90% from its all-time high. But, again, with the things that are happening in the market currently, I mean, there's just so much. There's so many things that are continuing to take place. So many partnerships, so many developments that continue to make this space a legitimate space for years to come, and companies are starting to realize that. Mainstream companies, you hear about Amazon launching their blockchain services. So there's just a lot of companies getting involved.
Right. So how do you get the common person to see that, what the big guys see?
Well, I think.
Why do they see it as a bull run when we see it as wild shifts?
What was that last part?
Well, they see it as a straight line, like, because of the overall market.
Right.
The value of the overall market. And so there's more money in the market today than there was 18 months ago. So they look at the overall big picture as if it's a line going up.
Right.
We tend to look at it, small guys like us tend to look at it as if, okay, we bought some, we have different coins, it's gone up, it's gone down.
Yeah, well, again, let me just show you the chart, and it's let me share my screen again. I'm going to show you the entirety of the chart of Bitcoin, and CoinMarketCap doesn't have the beginning of time from Bitcoin, but it's pretty close. Let me see. Let me pull up the screen here. So if you look at, this only, I guess it does go back to 2013. So all these little blips right here, okay, these are all, to the average person that doesn't know anything, that's going straight up, right? But this big blip in time is this little blip. So over the course of the next 10 years, this gigantic blip is going to be this little blip in the scope of things. Okay, so we rode all the way up to $20,000 right here, and we were along for that ride. And if you look here, we descended, we flattened out, and right here, this is where we did a reversal. This is a bottom reversal right here, and that's a textbook reversal where we went down sideways, and then we went up past the last point of resistance. So, you know, it's definitely in a bull market based off of the fundamentals, and you know, let's talk about why that is. Quickly, let's talk about, you know, why Bitcoin is better than gold and silver, and it's very simple. Bitcoin is more transparent. You don't need a third party. You can see every single transaction that takes place on the blockchain, right? You can send it worldwide. It does take a little bit of time, but it's more instantaneous than gold. You don't have to lug it around. You don't have to store it in you know, big cumbersome vaults. It's just a lot more accessible than traditional store of value, which is gold. I do think that Bitcoin, it's going to be, in my opinion, a pure store of value. It's not going to be used for payments in the future. It's going to be used mainly for protecting against inflation, hedging against inflation.
Okay, so if somebody's older, maybe like me, so they're used to protecting their assets with stuff like gold and silver.
Yeah.
It may be a little bit hard for them to understand, okay, how is investing in digital currency going to protect my money?
It's going to protect it because the network that is being built, that's being established, is a worldwide distributed network where no one person owns the whole entire network. No one person can, you know, hack the network, and because of that, it's the value is being stored as the network continues to grow and becomes more secure with the transactions that are being verified over time. So as you know, if you think 10 years from now and there's more nodes, there's more verified transactions on the blockchain, it's only going to become more secure.
Plus just the convenience of how the world is operating through technology now.
Absolutely.
You're not lugging anything around.
No.
It's very similar to gold versus dollars in your pocket.
Well, you know, and the other thing with gold that's challenging is, like, if you brought me a bar of gold, I would have no way to know if that bar of gold is real, right? Like I wouldn't know. I would have to trust you or trust some other verification process that gold is in fact pure gold, that it's not just a gold layer with lead inside. You know, there's no way for the average person to actually know that. So with the blockchain, it's a lot easier to identify all those things.
Right. So back to the other point just for a second, Jordan. What I was getting at is the overall money that's in the crypto space today is so much bigger than it was 18 months ago.
Yes.
So in that way too, is a much bigger market. So people are getting in all the time. So you see that makes it a positive, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're down from the all-time high of how much money was in the market, but from where it was 18 months ago, about a year ago, yeah. There's definitely, we were at about $100 billion market cap, and now we're at, I think, at like a $280 billion market cap. So people, and a lot of that is, you know, Fidelity has said they're coming on board, NASDAQ, they're coming on board, all these big institutions. So, you know, it's definitely a positive of what's taking place.
So it took a while to swing upward, but it was only worth 20 billion. Now it's worth 200 plus billion, and in between it was 800 and some billion. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that exactly. So, and a lot of that money was built on speculation. You know, like with what XRP Ripple is doing now, with a lot of more concrete products in place. I mean, the next phase is actually getting institutions and actually getting companies to use these products and these digital assets.
Because that's happening all the time, isn't what you're trying to get people to see that, listen, every day it's becoming more mainstream?
Absolutely.
If everyone else is investing in it, all these big fish are investing in it, all these big corporations companies, then even though there's wild swings for just the value on a personal level, there's a lot more value in it that meets the eye if you look at the bigger picture.
Absolutely. You know, we've already talked about that. Whole Foods is accepting Bitcoin through a third-party service. And let me just quickly touch, you know, on kind of how this whole sphere is developing, because I think it's important that people connect the dots of like this whole space just isn't being built by a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not just like, oh, like, yeah, like let's just hope this works out. So let me just, you know, and this is known, but I kind of stumbled upon the dots here a couple of weeks ago. So if you look at this guy, where is he at? We just had it open.
So who are we talking about?
We're talking about a guy named Barry Silbert. Okay, right here.
Okay.
Barry Silbert. He created this. Yeah, he created his company, Second Market, right? Is an American SaaS company that provides transaction software to provide companies and investment funds looking to tender offers or share buybacks. So basically, this guy created this company. He sold it to the NASDAQ, right? This was I think it was in 2013. Yeah, right around 2012, 2013, someone there. And at this time, this guy realized like that cryptocurrency was the future. So he went to go. He went and started and founded the Digital Currency Group. Okay, this is the Digital Currency Group. These are their holdings. Abra, which is a crypto wallet exchange, basically. Okay, he's got BitGo, Bitmark, BitPay. BitPay is the company that a lot of like Whole Foods is using to accept their Bitcoin with. Blockchain, Blockstream. He's got BlackRock, which is on Fidelity, which is actually the first fund that I ever invested into through Bitcoin in early 2017. And yeah, absolutely. Yep. He's got Brave. He's got Civic, which is another crypto. He's got Coinbase. Okay. These are all the cryptocurrency companies that he has invested and basically got going. And I say that to say because he was one of the main guys that got Ripple started.
Okay,
right.
So wait a minute. This guy started Coinbase.
This guy was one of the first investors in Coinbase, in all of these companies.
It's the entry in for anybody in America that's going to buy cryptocurrency, really.
Yes.
It's the gate you have to go through.
Absolutely. So
it's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal because what I realized after looking at all this, you know, if you remember in 2017, 2018, when Coinbase was supposed to list XRP, but they didn't because a lot of people think that, you know, XRP isn't worthy of being called a classic cryptocurrency, a real cryptocurrency. The reality is all of these companies, Coinbase, Ripple, Brave, they're all owned by the same investment group. So what does that mean? That means that they're all being pushed together in timing for the right time and the right purpose. They're not just out there wildly doing things. They're doing things intentionally, and they're doing things that on purpose, but serves the moment, you know, where the market at. Because these guys know if the top has been reached and the bottom is coming, and there's no point to do certain things at certain times as the space continues to grow.
Right. Plus, they wouldn't be putting all this effort into all these different productions unless it was serving a bottom line purpose. They know where it's headed.
Exactly. That's exactly it. You know, they're all working together to form out this whole entire space and to build it. So
now, that's not to say that some of these things could not work out. It could fail. Obviously, that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you look at you know, specifically Ripple, if you look at the money, I mean, Google's invested in them. I mean, they just have so much money in them, you know. Right. And one of their main products, you know, XRapid. And I've been sending you articles, and I'll pull a couple up here. I'm gonna quickly just touch on this. I sent you this today, which was just announced. So this the SUSI, basically it's a Swiss exchange.
Swiss. Yeah, Swiss Gold.
Yeah, Swiss Gold. So today they announced that they're going to be accepting XRP as a way to buy precious metals. And again, like I think Bitcoin's going to replace that, but again, it's getting people in the stepping in the ladder to start using it, and to start.
Yeah, why would Swiss Gold do that? Why would they do that if it wasn't if they're not serious about cryptocurrencies?
Because they're exactly, and they're slowly transitioning people to that place because they know where that's where everybody's at.
And why do they choose Ripple?
Because they know Ripple has a footing in basically the world banking system, you know, and
Ripple is super connected.
Absolutely, and you know I'm gonna quickly bring this up. So I think it's been 2 weeks. Brad Garlinghouse, who's the CEO of Ripple, okay, he was the only private company at a Swiss central bank meeting that I believe was the IMF hosted. And the IMF is right here. It's an international organization headquartered in Washington, D.C. It's basically the foster global monetary corporation, to secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment. They're basically what makes the financial world go around, right?
They're the globalist financial hub.
Exactly. They are the global financial hub, and
that's why a lot of traditional Bitcoin people don't like Ripple, because Ripple is connected to all the big players. But the way we see it is, because that's true, it's almost like a no-brainer.
Well, and it's like you said, Bitcoin is the people's coin. XRP is the well, what would you call it? It's the elite coin, and that's what it is. It seems that way, you know. And if you look at the writing on the wall, if you connect the dots, why is Brad Garlinghouse the only private company with Ripple at that meeting? Why is he talking about XRP? Why do we see announced today? And I'll pull it up here real quick. Let me just find it. Why, you know, we saw today a bank in Thailand, and we've been waiting on this news for a while. You know, if you've been following XRP for a while, you'll know that we've been waiting for some big news to come out. And I'm pulling it up here. Give me 1 second. So right here. So SCB Thailand, which is the official Twitter account for Siam, the Siam Commercial Bank. They tweeted out, XRP system, which is XRapid, will be announced soon. Please follow our official schedule on social media. So the XRP system, which is XRapid, basically, so there's XCurrent, which doesn't use XRP, which is like the beginning phases for that Ripple created for companies to kind of transition into using XRP. And then XRapid is the actual facilitator that banks are going to continue to use to settle payments with XRP.
Okay, so you're saying they're basically putting stages out in front of people so that they can begin to use their product. They're making it easy for what banks?
They're making it. It's the same thing. Like when you tell someone about Bitcoin, there's no in between of like using a credit card and going to Bitcoin. So if there was like if there was like stepping stones to get you to use Bitcoin, to trust it, then it would be a lot easier. That's what Ripple is doing. They're creating steps for people to slowly, okay, here's like half of the product, here's 3/4 of the product, here's the full product, and it's getting them comfortable. And meanwhile, Ripple is going around and they're getting all of these exchanges on board, they're getting all of these other companies on board. So when everybody goes live, everybody's going live at the same time.
Yeah, so we're just trying to give the bigger picture. Even though we know a lot of people won't like Ripple if they're Bitcoin fans, that kind of thing, but the bigger picture is they're doing this with intention and purpose, and it's pretty obvious that they're going to succeed on some level. And so, understanding these names when you see them like XRapid, you know, if you understand what that means, what that is, you start to realize that XRP or Ripple is out there already.
Yeah, and it's not out there with like, you know, Joe Schmo Bank. You have a bank that has 800,000 followers on Twitter. Okay, that's a commercial bank in Thailand, probably one of the biggest banks over there, saying that they're gearing up to use the XRP system.
And they're just one country.
They're just one. But again, connecting the dots with the IMF, Brad Garlinghouse is the only person there. You know, and then there's been more speculation. I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe it is, because the dots being connected that Ripple apparently acquired MoneyGram on Monday. You know, the big old school payment system. So, and again, it's all they're basically saying that way doesn't work. We're just going to buy you. We're going to take your clients and we're going to influence, just transition you, because you're not going to do it. So.
Right. So Jordan, Ripple is the thing I think that people that don't understand cryptocurrencies very well, they should be looking at Ripple, because it pretty much explains that, listen, the financial world is going digital. And here's a company that's making that happen. I mean, it's like there's 100 points for you to look at to see this.
Absolutely.
So if maybe you're not into Bitcoin, maybe you don't know much about cryptos, maybe you kind of have a stubbornness about getting into something new. This thing right here is like right out in the mainstream and working it and becoming the next thing right in front of our faces.
Absolutely.
So if you don't want to get Bitcoin, man, you might really want to take a serious look about getting into Ripple.
Absolutely. You know, at the end of the day, a lot of people don't think XRP is decentralized, blah, 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 blah. I think it is. I know that it is. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, right? What matters is what people are going to use. And if banks are going to use it, what difference does it make if it's decentralized or not? Like people may not like that, but at the end of the day, if that's what people use, that's what's going to make money. And that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
You know,
like people saying, I don't want to use 5s, but I'll use 10s.
Yeah, exactly. Banks just aren't going to, fall over and go to bed while this whole thing takes them over. Huh?
Your 5s, your 10s, your 20s, your 100s, they don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, therefore, this information is to help you get ahead.
Absolutely. And it's connecting your own dots. It's doing your own research. It's seeing what's actually taking place, what's actually being done. What, common sense tells you, again, that this guy, Brad Garlinghouse, isn't in front of the IMF by accident. He didn't just walk in, looking for the bathroom, like, oh, hey, I'm here.
He's definitely somebody, and when you kind of read his quotes and follow his line of thinking, I mean, he's very well thought out. He doesn't leave a lot of blanks from what I can tell.
No, not at all. He's not only that, but it's obvious that he's been talking to other people in his little network that they're all on the same page. They're all on the same page. He's not just a guy in the corner, trying to crash the party.
Yeah, money's money, and it always has a dark side to it for sure, because it gets at the root of the kind of the power thirst that human beings have. So there's always danger in money, and you never know who the players are for sure, or what they can turn into when you're handling that. But at this point, I like the fact that Garlinghouse says, listen, Bitcoin blockchain's controlled by just a very few people if you look at it in one way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so therefore it's more centralized than something like XRP.
Absolutely,
Right?
Yeah, so so Bitcoin, I believe, and I could be a little bit wrong, but basically it's like 80% of the Bitcoins out there are held in 1% of the wallet. So people argue that point that Ripple has 80% of the XRP. The difference is that Ripple on their webpage has basically a strategic plan in place of how they're distributing the XRP, because they want that XRP to go to companies like banks, that are actually going to use it for the purpose that is intended. So it's not just out in the open flying around. So they're strategically placing XRP so the vehicle can move.
What about the limits of Bitcoin? There can only be so many mined versus the fact that all the XRP was mined ahead of time. What about that argument?
Yeah, so, the argument is that, basically XRP was created out of thin air, and that Ripple has a bunch for themselves, and it didn't create an opportunity for everybody to mine it out of the system. Well, in my opinion, it's the same thing. Like Satoshi Nakamoto created an algorithm, right, that came out of thin air that he created that you can mine. There's no knowing because no one knows who Satoshi is, like you don't know that he doesn't have a different access to more Bitcoin or, back end coding or whatever. I mean, you don't know. I mean, you don't even know who he is.
And I like what one guy says. He says, and that doesn't really affect the price of Bitcoin because Bitcoin's out there in an open source way.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is it's the same argument on the other side with XRP.
What I'm saying is because no one knows the creator of Bitcoin, it's unlikely that a huge, massive organization is going to solely use Bitcoin because it's open source. Companies like profits, they like control, and they like revenues. And Ripple is providing that because they're controlling the distribution of XRP within an ecosystem that they're choosing. So again, I believe Bitcoin and XRP are going to coexist in two different facets, and that's okay. They're two separate things. Yeah.
Because most people don't like change and they won't jump into something that they don't understand like Bitcoin, but they will follow the steps that Ripple's laying out. And then 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it is, they'll just be like, oh yeah, money was always like this.
Right.
Ripple's very smart. They're just playing to human nature.
Absolutely. That's exactly what they're doing. What they're doing.
So if we're all going to be using it, you might as well get ahead of the game now. That's how we see it.
That's exactly how I see it. So, and just kind of transitioning from there, some of the other big news this week is, and I was a little upset when I first heard about it, but Justin Sun with Tron, I'm a Tron believer. He acquired BitTorrent. I think I like Justin Sun because of the entrepreneur the guy is. Like there's just not a lot of people like him that are go-getters. So basically, he tweeted out that he had some big stuff brewing, and long story short, it came out that he won a bid for $4.5 million to go have a dinner, a lunch with Warren Buffett. And at first, I was like, dude, what is this guy doing? Blah 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 blah. And he's just gotten his whole reasoning behind it is A, the money goes to homeless charity, and B, from it, I'll just share a couple of screenshots here.
Why does he care what Warren Buffett thinks?
Well, he cares because he knows that Warren Buffett, at the end of the day, if his stamp of approval is given on cryptocurrencies, which Warren Buffett currently thinks is rat poison, then it'll legitimize the space to the masses. And so his whole point is, just going out there and trying to make awareness of what's happening. And I thought $4.5 million for a lunch was a waste, but at the end of the day, all of the publicity he'd gotten, we've got CNN talking about it. We've got CNBC talking about it. He was on the Today Show talking about it. I mean, he's been on a ton of stuff, just creating awareness for the space. And he gets to take 10 blockchain experts, basically, and sit down with Warren Buffett and have a conversation. At the end of the day, the biggest thing that's going to come out of it is connections are going to be made to the mainstream that think, it's like when video games came out with Atari. It was like, oh, this is just dumb, but here we are 15 years later, and it's a billion dollar industry several times over. Yeah, it runs the internet. That's what everybody does. And it's the same thing with blockchain. It's like once people realize what it is, they'll understand that it's the future. And
so this is just a smart investment for a bunch of free advertising and a chance to change the mind of the biggest kind of real estate mogul in the world.
Yeah, and if not his mind, other billionaires that are going to be there. Other who's that are, maybe are going to be institutional investors that are going to come in and understand what it is that's happening. So.
Well, if you're 26 years old and you got so much money out of crypto that you can spend $5 million on a lunch, that also tells you something about cryptocurrency.
That is.
I mean, there's so many indicators, man.
So we're just, we're just in a wild time, and the question we get asked a lot, is like, why are you guys doing what we're doing? And I've really been passionate for the 2.5, 3 years that we've been doing this. Is like, this is the future. I don't care if you invest a dime in Bitcoin, XRP, cryptocurrency. The reality is the typewriter's going away and the computer's coming. So just download a digital wallet. Don't even do anything with it. Just download it and play around with it. The Trust wallet from Binance is a great wallet. Coinbase has got its own wallet. Understand how to use these things,
Just go to Coinbase and buy $100 worth of crypto. crypto, man, and just start learning. You know, you're going to spend it on lunch anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Put down Starbucks, or we can just, and, you know, buy it if you want. You know, we got links, you know, if you want to check them out, if you want to buy at Coinbase. But, you know, we're going to be sitting here in a year talking about how XRP and Bitcoin have gone through the roof, having this, you know, and just like we have over the last 2 years. You know, this isn't going away. We're not going away. I'm not going to lose any less enthusiasm if the price drops, because I know, like, this is the future, pure, plain and simple. Like, it is. You know, there's nothing that can be done about that.
We're hoping to just hit with the right coins, you know, so that's why we're highlighting the ones that we get involved with: XRP, Tron, Bitcoin,
Brave.
We're just trying to pass on what we learn as we learn, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And the space is evolving every single day. The more you're involved in it, the more like passionate and like how certain I am that this is the future, because you just start, you see the development. It's like being in freaking Apple Labs back in 1981, and like you start with an idea and like, oh, there's a computer in front of you all of a sudden. Like, this is the same thing, you know?
Yeah, one of the shopping centers I go through when I do some of my shopping, just on a kind of a weekly basis, you know, grocery shopping and different kinds of things, I always pass the old Kmart building, Jordan. And every time I pass it, I think of a few different things, but I'm like, there it is. You know, there used to be Kmart everywhere, and now they're just vacant buildings. This is the reality of the world. You know, video killed the radio star, man. It always does. And in the financial world, that's what's happening right now. So don't be one of those people that drive by and be like, oh, I wish I still had a Kmart. Just get on with what's next.
Absolutely. Just get on with it.
Your family.
Yeah, and why not? You know, it's like, why not? Why wouldn't you? What
You have to.
You have to. You're not, exactly. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, especially when the dollars in your pocket are just worth less and less every day.
Exactly.
So we're just trying to give you a reason to think, you know, think ahead and think smart. And Jordan here is full of info. So.
Yeah, and let me just, I forgot to bring up one chart. Let me just, you know, close with this.
How about the May chart? What about that one?
The which one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Again, if you look at Bitcoin, year-to-date gains were up 127%. The S&P is up 10. May, 6% down. Brent oil, 70% up. You know, Bitcoin has outperformed. Yes, it was down 85% last year, but if you look at the history of Bitcoin over the last 10 years, it has destroyed any mainstream asset vehicle, basically.
Right. Even my man Craig gets it right there. On the comment section, he got it.
Oh yeah. Interesting.
He's a good guy. He's not even into finances too much, but it's starting to pique his interest. He wants to know because he's a gamer.
That's it. Well, and that brings a good point. There was I'll have to find the link, but there was a company in it was a European company. Basically, they got approved by the government to sell a token, and their whole token is about basically the acknowledgement that like video game assets are a real thing. Like assets inside of a video game are an actual asset. Like
the same way, it's another kind of digital currency.
It's a digital currency, but it's recognizing, because in the future, like I think there's gonna be games that just blend together, and it's like if you have gold from this Fortnite and you know, blackberries from that game, it's like you can trade them on an open market that's going to exist in the gaming system, and it's gonna have depth and weight to it. If you
virtual world bartering.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hysterical. It's hysterical because there's so many gamers, they can't not do that. They have to do that.
It's all they know.
There's billions of gamers.
That's all they know.
Yes. So these people will be rolling in crypto.
Yeah. They're not going to have a choice. If they want to play the game, they're going to have to buy crypto. You know? And again,
assets will probably be blended even into the crypto space somehow. You know, it'll probably all be going the same.
But this is where people's thinking have to realize, like, in order for all these things to work, like I think Bitcoin, that's why Bitcoin is so important, because it has to be the standard that everything is valued off of in all of these different facets. And I think that's where Bitcoin is going to stand the test of time, that it is going to be the gold to the dollar before it was taken off that system.
Well, evidently Warren to understand that, even though we know he's a brilliant guy, financial.
Yeah.
It's hard for him to get this, but I think it's funny, Jordan, because he's going to end up being an early adopter.
I hope so.
He's going to. At the end of the day, he's been the biggest naysayer. He's going to end up making tons of money like he always does because of guys like the Tron guy.
Well, and he's being an early adopter, by default, because I read somewhere that he just invested a bunch of money into Amazon. It's like Amazon's going to start using it, which is going to because he's an owner in that, he's going to start looking at it, and he's going to, like you said, start making a bunch of money from a company that's starting to incorporate it, and then he's going to be forced to look at it.
Well, yeah, I think if you're connected with something like Amazon, Amazon has no choice but to go digital. That's what they are.
That's what they are.
Company.
Yeah, absolutely no choice. So.
Yeah. None of us have a choice, and that's what we're trying to say. We're not all that smart. I'm not, but I'm just saying, man, it's so out in front of our faces.
Yeah, it's exactly.
And yes, it probably will be the basis if you know as a Christian, but man, in the meantime, for your family's sake, do what you can.
Absolutely, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start trying to go live every Monday night at 7:00. Transition into basically just give them the news of what's going on in the crypto space. Again, if you guys have questions, Facebook me a message or email me, rockybeach@gmail.com or jordan4366@yahoo.com. Facebook is probably Crypto Cowboys on Facebook. So just check it out.
Yeah, it's a good gathering point on Wednesdays. If you got questions, you want to interact, ask questions.
Yeah.
Help somebody else with a question they might have.
Absolutely. All right. Well.
All right, man. That was good.
Yeah. Until next time.
Next Wednesday, bro.
All right.